Alright, so for the first one, for manual muscle testing, we'll test the deltoids. So for the anterior portion of the deltoid, I'll ask the patient, they'll first be seated, and I'll have them just actively go into shoulder flexions. Go ahead, pull up, back down, we'll go back out here. Now I want them to just go out into abduction for the middle fibers. Go ahead, back down. And then for the posterior portion, I'll have them go into extension. Go ahead. Okay. Alright, so for this next one, I'll do the pectoralis major. So first I have the patient laying supine. I'll resist right here on their arm, and then I'll have them go into abduction or adduction, adduction. Let's go ahead. Just do one. Go back. Just do one. You're good. Go ahead right here. Get strength there. Then I'll have them go up here. You get the other fibers that run more oblique. Have them go down. Go ahead. That's the pectoralis major. Okay, for the pectoralis minor, I'll first have the patient supine. I'll ask them to slowly raise their shoulders or round their shoulders up. So I'd round them up like this. There you go. Now, after that, you put your hands right on the frontal plane of their subacromion, their acromion process, and then you have them you apply a downward force and you have them resist. So ready, go. It's kind of eccentric break test for the pectoralis minor. Okay. For the manual muscle test for the coracobrachialis, I'll have the patient seated. First, I'll ask him to go ahead and flex his elbow, like here, relax. Have him flex his elbow like so, and then you're gonna resist here, and then I want to go into shoulder flexion. So he's kind of doing like a little bit of an uppercut. Just go ahead, I just kind of go here and I go side up. I'll give him a little bit of different angle, so out straighter now. Go straight up again. Back down. Okay, for the biceps, have the patient seated. So first I'll just test the straight elbow flexion. So I'll resist here, the elbow, go ahead and curl, do a bicep curl, back down. And also, we'll have them in a slightly flexed position, the elbow, slightly flexed. And then I'm going to resist up here at the shoulder, just kind of stabilize, and then I want to just go straight up into shoulder flexions. Go ahead. There we go. Alright, so for the next one here, we're going to test the manual muscle test of the tricep. So, just relax for a minute. So, since I got to hold my iPad, can't really get the video, but I would stabilize up here in his elbow, and then down here in his forearm. So just pretend like I'm stabilizing down here. Go ahead and do elbow extension. You test it like that, and you test for his triceps. Alright, so for this next one, we'll do the levator scapulae. So I'll have the patient seated. I'll first ask them to slightly turn their head away from the side being tested. I'll stabilize on their shoulder, and then right, just lateral to their occiput. And I just ask them to elevate their shoulder and then pinch their head. Pinch the back of their head to their shoulder. So go ahead. Relax. Alright. Alright. So this one we'll do the teres major. So I'll have the patient in prone. I'll ask them to place the side that we're testing, place their hand on their hips lateral glute with their palm up. Then I'll stabilize up here at the shoulder, down here at their wrist, and I'll ask them to just lift off. So go ahead. Back down, relax. That's for the teres major. We'll test both the teres minor and the infraspinatus. So I'll have the patient in prone, their arm hanging out the table. I'll stabilize at the elbow, and then I'll down here at the wrist. I'm gonna resist as they go into external rotation. So go ahead. Relax. And you also have to make sure, as you do it again, they get to the end range of motion when their scapula starts to hike. So we'll do it one more time, just don't go all the way up. As you notice there, it starts to hike, so it's about right here. So for this next one, test the subscapularis. So I'll have the patient again in prone. I'm out in that kind of that 90-90. Stabilize here at the elbow, down at the wrist, and then I want them to go into resist as they go into internal rotation, so go ahead. Okay, relax. That's for the subscap. This next one we'll test the supraspinatus. So it's similar to the middle portion of the deltoid. I'll have the patient seated, and I'll have them just go straight into abduction here. Actually, then have them straighten out their arm. Now go ahead. I just test the glide as the humeral head glides up. Next one we'll test the latissimus dorsi. So I'll have the patient prone, and then I'll have them first stabilize here on their trunk and then their forearm. I'm going to resist them. I'm going to put them into flexion and abduction, and they're going to resist that. So ready? Go ahead. See, fire that ladder right there. Okay, so this next one will do the serratus anterior. I'll have the patient seated, stabilize the shoulder, and I'll have them just go into straight flexion. Go ahead. Thumb up. Looks good. So text is both his rhomboids. So the patient will be prone, and then I'm gonna have him just put my palpate right along the rhomboids here between his scaps. Now I'll just ask the patient to squeeze their shoulder blades together. So try to focus on these muscles my fingers are on, and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Now back out. Do it one more time. Have him hold it for a 5 count. 3, 4, 5. Relax. This one we're going to test both the middle and the lower trapezius. First we'll get them prone like this. First have the patient go out, arms straight out. I'm gonna resist them as they go into extension. I'm gonna ask them to try and squeeze their shoulder blades, focusing on working on the middle fibers. Go ahead. Okay, back down. For the lower trapezius fibers, we'll have them go, patient go arm above their head, try to keep it in line with the fiber. I'll ask them to do the same thing, go into extension, focusing on squeezing down the lower trap. Go ahead. Yeah, pretty good there. So for this one, for the upper trapezius, the patient's seated. I'll simply have them do is I'll just hands on their shoulders and ask them to shrug as I resist. So go ahead. That's upper trapezius.